All right, golfers, let's take a look at Aaron Rodgers' golf swing. So, with these celebrity swings, I want to try to help you understand what matchups get them to a certain scoring level, and then what they could improve if they wanted to get to that next level. So, Aaron's a very good golfer. He's kind of in that 3 to 5 handicap. Let's take a quick look over here on the left at full speed, and then if we do it again, we can kind of go through a little bit more slow motion so you can look at it. And then we'll do it over here on the face on view and we'll get into analyzing it. So over here on the left, kind of at full speed, got some good rhythm. Now if we go more frame by frame, some good pieces. Okay, so whenever you're analyzing a golf swing, you want to do it with a purpose of solving a particular problem. So we don't totally know what Aaron's problem is, but so we'll talk through it more from just kind of a general perspective. So when we're looking at quality of contact or consistency, we're primarily looking at how well the golfer can maintain the centeredness of their pivot, how well that helps them control low point. We can look at how good they're sequencing. That helps get into some good impact alignments and create speed in more of a consistent way, as opposed to if you're using too much of your upper body. We want to use your entire body as a whole. And if we're looking at direction, we can look more at face and path. So from a general perspective, we can see Aaron's got pretty good setup alignments. A lot of amateurs tend to struggle with that right shoulder getting high. He's got some good shoulder position there. As we go up to the top of the swing, maybe just a little bit flat, or the arms could get just a touch behind would be a better way of saying it. From the face on view, you'll see, again, a very good kind of centered pivot, bracing more against that right leg while maintaining a full coil. Again, we can see a little bit of kind of collapse or narrowness with the arms. So that could affect how he's creating speed, but from a performance standpoint, that could impact consistency more than anything else. So then from there, we'll see as he comes down, the arms are in a little bit more of a steep position compared to the body, but the body sequence is very good. He does a great job of maintaining the stability of that trail shoulder and getting good impact shoulder alignments where the shoulders are a little more closed compared to his hips. His hips have rotated. If we look from the face on view, with the driver, that's a good amount of tilt. We can see, again, that right shoulder not kind of throwing or early releasing like we see with a lot of the amateur golfers. Now, where we start to see some of the possible problems for him, we can see that, again, the arms were coming from a little bit more narrow position, and then on the way through, you'll see not a great job of lengthening the radius or creating more of a flat spot down to the bottom. So that would typically relate more to consistency of contact more so than speed. But basically, he's got this chicken wing, and that trail arm is rotating. That creates a lot of space in there, and that space requires more timing than if you kind of create some consistency, or what I call kind of a feeling of tension through the whole limb. That's going to have some slack, and that slack requires some timing. So you'll see, if you're looking at it from down the line, we'll see that he does a really good job of maintaining his distance or his spine angle or his inclination or whatever you want to call it. He does a good job of kind of rotating his upper body and lower body without losing the location of his upper body center. But you'll see a pretty pronounced chicken wing there, where that lead arm has bent, narrowed. That can cause the club face to turn over really quickly, causing pulls or excessive draws, and that can cause the club to come up away from the ground pretty quickly, causing low point issues. So really good pivot, but potentially we could work on some arm structure if we were going to try and get into that plus handicap down from a 3. Now, as a little bonus, let's take a look at his chipping action to see how that relates to his swing action. Okay, so some of the same rules apply, even though we applied them differently. When we're looking at this chipping action, I like to look for kind of a stacked upper body on top of the lower body, constant radius, and smooth application of force. Those are kind of the principles I talk about in my wedge play program. And so if we go through, you'll see he does a really good job of kind of maintaining the width of his arms compared to what we saw over here with the full swing, where the radius is kind of changing or narrowing. Here he does a really good job of maintaining the structure of his arms as his upper body rotates through. That's likely going to give him some really good consistent low point and turf interaction. So I imagine part of his 3 handicap comes from having some pretty solid wedge play.